After the Magi had gone, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. "Get up, take the child and his mother to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for the child to kill him." So he got up and took the child and his mother during the night and left for Egypt, where he stayed until the death of Herod. And so was fulfilled what the Lord had said through the prophet, "Out of Egypt I called my son." When Herod realized that he had been outwitted by the Magi, he was furious, and he gave orders to kill all the boys in Bethlehem and the area who were 2 years old and under, in accordance with the time that he had learned from the Magi. When that was said through the prophet Jeremiah was fulfilled. "For a voice is heard in Ramah, weeping in great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted, for they are no more." But after Herod died, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt. "Get up, take the child and his mother and go to the land of Israel, for those who were trying to take the child's life are dead." So he arose, took the child and his mother and went to the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus was reigning in Judea in place of his father, he was afraid to go there. And having been warned in a dream, he withdrew to the district of Galilee. And he lived in a town called Nazareth. So was fulfilled what was said through the prophets, "He will be called a Nazarene." The word from the Lord in the house of the Lord. We occasionally get conflict in the story. Now this part of the gospel says that he settled in Nazareth. But as we go back and read the Christmas story about him heading out to go to Bethlehem for the census, it said he left from Nazareth. So there is that, it doesn't say that he went home to Nazareth. So the question among the theologians and the Bible scholars is, did he really come from Nazareth in the first place? And we don't know. So I guess that's the end of my sermon, because I got to tell you, I don't know either. What I do know is that the story unfolds as it was supposed to. The story unfolds to again solidify another 40 prophecies from the Old Testament about things that would occur in the birth of Christ and his coming to us. There are over 200 prophecies that were fulfilled by him, and oftentimes it refers back. This was to reference Isaiah's prophecy or Nathaniel's prophecy or whatever. God had a great plan. What we don't always get into our heads and into our hearts is that he's still got a great plan. Now his plan then was pretty simple. He was going to communicate the way he could. And now we're into an era when communication is instantaneous and not retrievable, not irrevocable. I mean, you can't get it back. Once you spit it out, it's gone. And we're seeing the results of Twitter and tweet and all of that kind of stuff rampant in our national politics, in social mores, in all sorts of stuff. If you're a fan of stardom, it's been a tough month. We've lost some, quote, bright lights of stardom. But every life is just as bright in God's eyes. And yeah, we've lost some stars in our own life here. We've lost some people who were pretty important to us, and hearing about Mary was a blow, because she had always been the epitome of absolute faithfulness until she could physically not do it anymore. And I wonder sometimes if I'm not just slacking off a bit. I never drive 57 miles to go to church. I hardly, well, I only have to go a mile and a half, so I really have no excuse, even if the car wouldn't start, to not be here. But we dedicate ourselves to that which we feel is important. We learn disciplines that are important to us. You probably learn a lot about discipline. The Marines thrive on it. And you learn that you will live because of them. And we need to get the same kind of confidence in the disciplines that we have. We need to have the same kind of confidence in our relationship with God that the Marines have in their relationship with discipline. Because they know. I remember, it's been a long time, I gotta get lean here, it's been over 50 years since I got out of the Army, but I still remember the sergeant saying, "You'll do it my way and you'll live." Well, I didn't do it his way and I lived anyway, but that's not because he was wrong and I was right, it's because I was a veteran of Cold War I. If you remember the Berlin crisis, that's when I went in. They didn't need to send me to Korea. Glad of that. They didn't send me to Berlin. I was kind of glad of that. Instead, I got to spend 2 years in Arkansas. And despite the rumor, you do not get overseas pay for Arkansas. And it hasn't been screwed up too bad yet, because Clinton wasn't the governor yet. So Orville was the governor. But discipline was important to us in that situation. Discipline ruled our day. We knew what time we were getting up, we knew what time we were eating, we knew what time we had to be ready to go to work, we knew what time we were going to get done, we knew we were scheduled. We were disciplined. And that's what Christians frequently lack, is the discipline to set aside part of their life purely for God. To have a Bible reading time for yourself, have a prayer time for yourself, and mean it. It's kind of like the guy who said, "I didn't go to the gym yesterday." That makes 7 years in a row. That's discipline. He managed to overcome the temptation to go sweat. But discipline is such an important thing. And Joseph, he epitomized discipline. He was not close to God, but when God spoke to him and said, "You will keep married, and you will have a child, and you will name him Jesus," he did it. When God said, "Take the child to Egypt," he did it. When he said, "Bring him back," he did it. And that's the last we know about Joseph. There is no more Joseph in the story of Jesus. We don't know whether he was older and passed on. We don't know. As some theologians have said, when Jesus refused to follow in his footsteps and take up the same trade and take over the family business, his father would have disowned him and would have ordered his family to never mention that name again. Because for him, Jesus would have become a non-person. We have theologians and Bible scholars who will argue in that direction, but most of them tend to agree that since he was older than Mary, he might well have passed on. Realizing that the average lifespan in Jesus' time was about 35 years. So if he had been somewhat older than Mary, he probably was gone. But he listened when God spoke to him. He did what God asked him to do. He carried on with the discipline of being one of God's chosen people. And he didn't go seeking that relationship. He didn't go hunting a relationship with God, it got plopped right on him. Well, most of us don't rush around trying to make ourselves holy. Most of us are moving around trying to make ourselves happy. Happy New Year. Happy birthday. Then we screw it up and say Merry Christmas. But discipline is such an important thing. And I don't mean that you can follow orders. I mean that you have dedicated a piece of your life to God. And you stay committed to that relationship with God. I have my schedule, I have my routine, and it's not what you ought to do, except that it is a routine that I follow. It is a discipline that I practice. Your discipline needs to be your discipline, not my discipline. Because what I do wouldn't work for you. I wouldn't even want you to try it, but I want you to understand that if you make a commitment to God, you need to have the discipline in your life to follow it through. And if in your life He gives you an order, and it may be that you see somebody who's really pathetic on the road and you just have to help them, that may be the order that He's given to you. Not in order to march, and not in order to demonstrate, and not in order to be flashy, but in order to love your neighbor. Not hard to do from a distance. You know, it's easy to love our neighbors in Africa, in Korea, in South America. And when we take up a collection, we can put $1 in and feel good. But if we go home and wonder, did we do enough? We can be sure we didn't. But that's not the discipline that He wants from you. He wants the commitment to love the neighbor that's near you. Love the neighbor that's around you. Love the neighbor that needs to be loved beyond what you thought you could do. So discipline. I'm glad you brought Maureen, because it emphasized my talk this morning. But when somebody says to him, do it, it's done. When God says to us, do it, we say, you really serious, God? You really mean it? Do I have to? We need to learn to commit our hearts, to dedicate our hearts to the discipline of listening. And He's not going to shout in your ear. You're suddenly just going to have a little urge to do something that you didn't know later why you did it. But be confident, be sure that He said, do it in your ear. He whispered. That still small voice that causes you to become truly one with Him. The discipline of loving God through loving your neighbors. I'm not saying you have to read the Bible an hour in the morning. I don't say you have to get on your knees and pray for 2 hours a day. Those are not the kind of disciplines that most of us are likely to do. But if you have a discipline to listen, if you have a discipline to feel, if you have a discipline to reach out, God will speak to you. God will use you. For God loves you as His laborers. The vineyard is ripe. The harvest is bountiful, and the laborers are few. So have the discipline, the loving relationship with God to hear and to do. That's what we talk about when we come to the table. This is our willingness to accept that He's called us to be one with Him. That He's invited us just as He invited His disciples to share His heart. At the table with His disciples, He took the bread, and when He broke it, He said to them, this is my body, broken for you, broken that you might be made whole in its resurrection. And likewise, at the end of the meal, He took the cup. He lifted it high, and He said to them, this is my blood poured out for you, my life given for you. No one takes my life, I offer it freely, that you might have it eternally. Unless you accept the cup, you share not the promise of eternal life. Let us pray. We are in your bountiful creation, Lord, here in this place, a desert that receives rain and sunshine and will bloom with the glory that you have created. Let our hearts bloom also, Lord, with the glory that you have created. That our hearts would touch those around us in your name, and that we would be the messenger to bring the good news that our sins are forgiven. Our life is eternal. All because of your love for us. It is our prayer we would be one in the Spirit, one with each other, one in ministry, to this your kingdom on earth, right here, right now. Hear us. Hear us as we lift our voices as one and pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Christ invites you to his table. As I said before, come when you are ready, that you might be able to open your hearts and accept the call that he gives to you. I would ask those who are listening to come forward that we might prepare to serve you.